My name is Chariton Namuoza. I'm the CEO of Nogamo. I'm also privileged to be the president of the African Organic Network, the continental body that unites the organic industry in Africa. First of all, I would like to register my sincere thanks and appreciation with every one of you that has made time for this very important webinar on standards and certification. And most importantly, permit me to recognize the presence of our very own Maif representative, my sister Ifrance Tumuwaine, that I have been privileged to work with over the last 2 decades. And she's been very supportive in different ways, trying to engage the actors, first on the front of regulation, but also supporting their efforts to engage in competitive production and quality assurance. I'd like also to recognize the presence of my brother, Hakim Mufumbiro from UNBS, who, of course, is also the chair of the National PGS Council. PGS stands for Participatory Guarantee System, and on this webinar we'll have a special presentation by our board member Julie Nakalanda, who is also an expert on PGS. Then permit me also to recognize all the different presenters, speakers who will be walking us through the different aspects of standards and certification. And of course, I would like to, in a special way, recognize each one of you in your different capacities. And as I said earlier, thanks for making time for this webinar. Now, this webinar is aimed at generating a conversation around standards and certification, especially in view of the fact that, on the one hand, we see a lot of demand for organic products. And Farid here, who is our global marketing advisor, I'm sure at some point will highlight that we have noted a growing, a trend in the growth for demand for the different products, from coffee to cocoa to fruits, and fruits in different forms, dried fruit, pulp, in the raw form, and many other product forms. For different commodities. I could go on and on, but we note a lot of excitement at the global market level for Uganda's organic products. And after our recent participation in one of the biggest international events, we were surprised to see that some of the buyers that we had met actually followed us. They followed. Shortly after that exhibition, they flew in, paid their tickets, paid their hotels. They came to see the farmers that produce these products and could not leave before loading containers. It's amazing. This is an indication of excitement in the market in terms of what they are asking for or inquiring for. On the one hand, we see a lot of issues in terms of gaps that relate to compliance on the part of producers and MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises. Gaps in terms of quality management systems, gaps in terms of certification. So all these point to a major issue that the country needs to address. That aside, we recently had a validation meeting on the latest organic statistics that our partners, the Center for Ecosystem Research and Development, together with Makerere University, were involved in updating. We had Florence, would you kindly mute? Florence, kindly mute. Yes, and happy to hear your voice, Florence, and happy to see you here. So, in short, we need to close the gap on the part of the operators, the producers and traders and processors and exporters, to be able to comply, so that they're able to comply with the requisite local, regional, and international organic standards. And that's why we are promoting two organic guarantee systems. We are promoting the third-party certification system, but at the same time, we are also pushing the second-party organic certification system. And these two, you will obviously hear from the presenters how they complement each other and how the second-party certification scheme, for example, makes it possible for farmers that cannot afford the high cost of certification, third-party certification, international certification fees, to be able to comply with standards and also sell in their local and regional markets. So with those few remarks, I would like to again thank you very much. And I look forward to a very spirited and active participation of the different actors here. Thank you very much, and looking forward to a conversation here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chariton, for that elaborate discussion of the flow of how we are going to go about the discussion today. But as we begin, I just have some housekeeping rules. Let's keep our microphones muted. Let's use the chat for comments and questions. And let's also introduce ourselves in the chat. We shall also have some sessions later on question and answer. So let's try to keep our questions that we can able to answer them later on. So at this point, I would like us to go into our first presentation, and that is from Maif. We all know that Maif is Minister of Agriculture and Industry and Fisheries, and Ms. Efrains is our first speaker, who is representing Maif. And we all know also that Maif plays a critical role in regulating agricultural inputs and also ensuring that products used by the farmers meet required standards for safety, but also quality. So let's welcome Ms. Efrains from Maif to give us her presentation. As Ms. Efrains, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much for the floor. Allow me, Efrains Dongwen is my name. I'm Assistant Commissioner Phytosanitary Quarantine Inspections in the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. And give me a minute to share my presentation, or I send it to you, then you share on my behalf. Whichever way, let me try.
Ms. Efrans, do you need any support?
I've just sent small skins.
I've made you a co-host, so I think it's possible for you to share on your side. Ms. Empress, can you share with me your slide?
Hello, Farid. Hello,
Yes,
Farid.
yes, Marilyn.
Kindly check your WhatsApp.
You've sent it on WhatsApp.
On your WhatsApp, kindly check. She has sent it to me. I sent it to you.
As Farid shares the slides, may I suggest that maybe some people could just introduce themselves and say hello as the slides come, so that we keep the forum active. Do you already have the slides, Farid?
Yes, I'm just loading
Okay,
them.
upload. Okay, no worries then.
Hello, Farmer Joe here. Joseph Muyet is my name, and I'm into farming. Hello? Oh,
Yeah, so we have the presentation, right, Mr. Efrans?
okay, fine.
Mr. Efrans?
Yeah, thank you very much. Could you put it in the slide?
There you go.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues. Good afternoon, everyone. As Efrans Tumuboine, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, and I head quarantine and phytosanitary inspection services. I'm here to present relationship between organic certification and phytosanitary certification. I will give the differences and how we collaborate to ensure that organic produce in international trade. Next. As traditionally, farmers rely on organic agriculture, where soil fertility is achieved through composting, crop rotation, and natural pest control measures, as you all know. But then it could not remain business as usual in somewhere 1990s, an NGO. Are you hearing me?
There is an echo. I think you're close to someone who is sound is also appearing, so I think they can mute.
No, I think I'm in a place where other people around me.
Okay.
So saying that in 1990s, some wisdom came up and decided to organize them groups so that they can be recognized, to be able to sustainably use alternative produce food that could be put on the market. And then in 2000, Uganda realized the export of these products, and these included coffee, cocoa, cotton, fruits, and vegetables. So we normally in organic agriculture, we rely on natural soil fertility. And as Uganda, you realize of our land is arable, seasons are favorable, and all that. So we can rely on natural facility to enhance production and productivity. And because of some of those requirements for recognition, export opportunities, if you are to move your organically produced product, you need to cross it the borders. We needed an assurance that these produce are being produced organically. And also later on, environment came up whereby you need to conserve soil health and biodiversity, and therefore the need for us to produce organically. So, and then of course, produce organically, you can produce affordably by lowering the costs, and there is less pressure of contaminants. That is basically why organic agriculture would be promoted. Next. So, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, crop section, to be able to support organic trade, organic production and trade of such goods. We developed a policy in 2019 as a guidance for certification, accreditation, and market development. And then we also know that is an organic standard which defines of an organic product. And later on at East African Community, we organic product certification standard. So that is the on which we base ourselves to produce organically and to provide an enabling environment for some of these products. But then you realize that having a policy, having a standard. These organic agriculture, organic standards seem to be a private standard. But later on, you realize that we shall have to embed it in our official or government-driven standards, because we must protect our soils and the rest. So organize UGASAT as a certification body, like I said, an NGO, non-government organization approach is the driver for organic production. So recognize that. But MAIF ensure compliance is integrated in the East African organic production, and it is recognized in our policy of 2019. Then when you certify a product in Uganda, it is recognized in the ESC. And as you all know, that these East African Organic Standard and Uganda Standard are recognized under International Federation for Organic Agriculture Movement. That's where the structure arrived, so that at least the a framework for which you can use to put these organic products on the market. Next. But as Uganda, we certify according to the legal framework, and you realize that the framework is called International Plant Protection Organization. This organization helps countries. Actually, right now we are 180 so members, and whatever we certify according to the health of the product is guided by this organization. And the purpose for which the certification, phytosanitary certification and quarantine, is preventing introduction and spread of pests of plants and plant products. We are a contracting party, and the certificate we use is an international model. Remember, all this to make sure we prevent introduction, but mitigate those pests that are supposedly harmful to, and can also be able to stop whatever is harmful from moving from Uganda to another country. That's why we have this. You'll ask yourself, where is our organic agricultural products? Where are they placed? So then on the side of organic agriculture, I said there is an international federation, and which was formed in 1970, and it has its own aims and objectives, which including promoting sustainable culture, making sure there is regenerative farming, there is ecological fairness and care. And of course, with that, you help the production of organic products, helps to make sure we are putting healthy plants and products on the market. And that's when now we come to UGOSAT, which is supposed to implement the Uganda organic standard, and it is recognized under the international umbrella. In line with this, we have UGOSAT supposed to certify organic, while a ministry or department is certifying products. Even the same products produced under organic agriculture must be having a certificate, a phytosanitary certificate, whether organic or conventional. So that is what we interface. Next. So as you can see, the differences, trying to elaborate more on how if you are shipping coffee, for example, and it is inspected and certified, free of pests and diseases, you must also have followed the standard on organic production and verified by UGOSAT. Therefore, for us, for phytosanitary education, we require that your product is accompanied by this certificate given by UGOSAT. But then when we inspect and find there are harmful pests and diseases, we shall still say these are for the market you are sending to. You get the difference. So here, plant health certification, which is by a department or an agency in the government, while NGO does the certification of organic products. But we have a mandate to protect Uganda and other countries from harmful pests. Therefore, even if you don't add inputs certified by UGOSAT and you have that certificate, you must present your consignment to the inspector, check whether this commodity, this consignment meets the plant health aspects. So that's how we work. Next. So to be certified for organic access to the market, maybe you'll get the detail of UGOSAT. Farmers and processors and exporters, you must comply with the standard. But we are offering an official oversight. And this oversight is to ensure that the product meets the national regulations and phytosanitary requirements. So if you by organic means, you still have to follow the plant health rules, which we call phytosanitary. And we want to also get that quality assurance is done by UGOSAT employees or those who are recognized as inspectors. And these products are inspected and obtain a certificate that is recognized and accredited under the international framework. So this is what you need for organic certification. Then the next, so inspectors are going to verify all these things and be able to give you that certificate. But that certificate, you must present it together with products you are exporting to MAIF. Because if you don't meet the requirements of plant health, even when you are targeting that high-end market, the products will be intercepted and destroyed because they will not have met official requirements in regard to plant health. Next. So you can see the requirements you need to work with us, and these are the timelines I've put there. This slide shows you that you cannot come with a consignment at the exit and present it and then you think you'll be certified by organic standards. So you have to have your land, have records of that land, you have to have data, production records. That takes like 1 to 2 months. And then you are supposed to be inspected in 1 and 2 months. Then you receive inspection reports. And then we feel UGOSAT should offer a certification that will last you 12 months. So for organic certification, you can see it is a process, takes time. And when you get that certificate, it takes 12. But for us, we give certificates for a consignment, depending on the requirements of that market. Plant health requirements or phytosanitary requirements. Next. So I've given some of the figures, the fees you need to pay for a phytosanitary certificate. These are in the regulation. But you see 1, 2, 3, and 6 are the ones that are in force. The others are still being debated. And also, certification, those fees are, and you must be able to get the fees paid. But you can see the figures are quite high. For us, phytosanitary, we are inspecting a consignment, something you put together for us to look at, certify, but certification, you're going to do it over a period, and once you get the certificate, it will last you a year. So next, I think this could be some of the concluding remarks. So we don't have to parliament that is guiding or regulating organic agricultural production, but we have a policy under MAIF as a guidance on what we should do and what we should not do. And also, please understand that organic certification is private standard, but it helps us to access premium markets in US and EU. And the plant health certificate cover even produced organic array and all those that are not produced. But we need a certificate for these products to be able to cross borders. And you are well aware that when you produce organic array, you have less restrictions, especially on pesticide residues, the opportunity. And therefore, also plant health and organic certification are based on international standards as earlier. So with those few words, I want to thank you for listening, and any other question I'll be able to answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. I think we have got some insights on what is MAIFRE's role on the different aspects in regards to organic. I know there's a lot of questions out there that many have. I would request that you note down those questions, but maybe I could ask, because this is something I've seen coming always to NOGAMO and also to UGOSAT. We have an instance where many of entrepreneurs have been certified by UGOSAT, and that is the organic inputs. But they also have to get certification from the MAIF. So is it? Can you just share with us that where the certification of inputs with the MAIF, and also Ugosat, because Ugosat, they have issued certificates to some companies, but when these people are marketing their products, they are sent away because they don't have MAIF certification. So can you just highlight that so that people in here can get to understand that if you have Ugosat, then you also need MAIF certification? Thank you.
Ugosat organic production, the process to ensure that the inputs used are the ones acceptable in organic production. But then MAIF also certifies inputs according to the toxicology and other efficacy and all that. If you are producing organically, still MAIF needs to make sure that the inputs you are using are effective and they are able to control the pests and diseases, and they are also authorized to enter the country and are acceptable and by the consumer nationally and internationally. So if you are using the input and you have it as organic, we still need to have to confirm whether that input meets the attributes as that by MAIF. One of the aspects we regulate is that you need to minimize counterfeiting. You don't need to have fraud. You need to have reject. So all those are regulated. So if Nogamo certifies or Ugosat certifies the inputs that are required in organic agriculture, MAIF has also aspects they are checking for those inputs. So that's why we are always in battle to see whether these products we are using meet the requirements of the country in terms of health, in terms of environment, and all other aspects. But we can sit and harmonize and say all our requirements are like this, but of course it has to be justified. It has to be established. Most of the producers of those organic inputs don't want to have their products registered. And there is a need why you need to register. One example had banana bacterial wilt. Many people water mixed with soil and moved around and they say we are treating bananas against banana bacterial wilt. And the results were negative. So still under organic agriculture, please let us have your products tested and tested. Thank you, sir. I hope that answers.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that answers most of the questions that I had, because those are some of the questions that we received. We get certified with Ugosat, then again we go when MAIF needs us to get certified, but this is clear now. I think it highlights most of the queries that we have always been facing. So thank you so much once again for that insightful presentation. I believe all of us have gained. If you have any other question, please note them down so that when we come to the session of question and answer, you'll be able to ask. So at this point, I would like us to dive into another presentation that is by Ugosat. At least we have heard about the Ministry of Agriculture, what is their role. So let's also hear about Ugosat on what is their role in this process of organic certification, and if there are any challenges that they could share with us that they face while in the field, that would be welcome. So you're most welcome, Amina from Ugosat, to share with us what you have today. Amina, you're most welcome.
Amina is coming. The network here, but she's coming.
Gabriela, there's a person here. Yes.
I mean, are you still there? Amina from Ugosat. Bernard, are you close to Amina?
Yes, Farid, I'm here.
Yes, go ahead. You're most welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm
Good
called Amina
afternoon.
Nampomba, CEO, Ugosat. Next slide. Next, yeah. Basically, I'm going to talk about overview of Ugosat, understanding organic certification, Ugosat certification schemes, certification procedures, milestones and successes so far, organic certification challenges, and then I conclude. Yeah, Ugosat is Uganda's local certification body, and it was established in 2004. Our mission is to provide credible certification services in sustainable agriculture and natural resources management. We envision to be the most trusted and organic certification body in Africa. Ugosat is a trusted partner for exporters, producer groups, and agribusinesses. Our services basically we offer capacity building and training on organic standards, good sustainable agriculture practices, trainings, food safety and quality control management systems, market analysis and intelligence, and inspections and certifications, to mention but a few. So we are going to understanding organic certification. What is organic certification? Organic certification ensures that verification that production processes, products conform to particular organic standards. There is no use of prohibited substances such as synthetic chemicals, GMOs, and artificial inputs. And more importantly, organic certification ensures environmental conservation. So the pros of organic certification, all the advantages, cost premium pricing. For a person who understands organic and its importance, and we view it from the perspective of health, organic certification organic certified products fetch more premium pricing than conventional products. And there is that consumer trust. If a consumer trusts that he's getting a product that is not contaminated with any pests, I think there will be some trust. You trust that what you're consuming is healthy and more sustainable. Then sustainability, organic agriculture, or organic certification ensures sustainability. We make sure that whatever we produce is safe. What we are producing today and what we are doing today will even benefit the generations to come. So there is that sustainability. Next. Basically, Ugosat looks at the East Africa Organic Product Standard. Once you're certified with Ugosat, we give you the Kilimo High mark. And this mark enables you to trade in the whole of East Africa. Yeah, it's recognized And it's actually, this is a brand. By the time you get Kilimo High mark, you have passed the test of times via organic standards. The certification, now I'm taking you through the certification procedure. We can first do the pre-inspection. Then from the pre-inspection, you can apply, you put in an application. You can review the application. Then after reviewing the application, the payment is made. Because the auditors will not come to inspect before you make a payment. So the audit plan is also shared. And we have a closure of non-conformity. For example, when we come to a facility or a farm, and we find that there are some non-conformities, we give you time to rectify those non-conformities. Then you can go ahead with the inspection. After the inspection, the certification review committee sits to review whatever you have submitted, whatever the inspectors have submitted. Then the certification decision is taken and approval of the certificate. The certificate is awarded. Next slide. Then I'll take you through the milestones so far. Julius, unmute. Yeah, thank you. The milestones so far. The official inspections have been conducted in a space of 7 months, and we have so far given out 7 certificates to 7 companies in a space of 7 months. And during that period, we have conducted 10 organic certification trainings, virtual and physical. We also participate in agriculture shows, exhibitions, and this is to enable us create more visibility and awareness. And this has helped UGOSAT to gain momentum, because we are getting applications and people are trusting our services due to the information we have been able to give out and share out. And we have so far trained about 500 organic actors. Next slide. Important aspects in certification. The certification points, when we reach the facility or the farm, we have to know the source of the raw materials. This helps us understand and know where the raw materials are sourced, whether they have any contaminants or not, and we advise accordingly. We then go ahead to see the processing protocol. We review the documents. We also assess the competence of the staff. This is a bit wide because we interview staff, both technical and maybe casual laborers on the facility. We want to ensure fairness. Are they happy? Is there a high turnover of staff? Because if you interview staff who says, I have worked here for only 2 weeks, then you go another time and you find another staff, that means there is a high level of turnover of staff, and it becomes increasingly difficult for a facility owner to be training staff every now and then. So that means somehow compliance with organic standards may not be easy. Then the traceability system is also looked at critically to enable us to see whether the system really is on track. We trace from farm to the final destination. Yeah. Certification maintenance is also another important aspect. This is done through conducting regular audits and ensuring proper record keeping and documentation, then proper system for management of non-compliances. Next slide, Farid. It's not there. Certification challenges. We have encountered some certification challenges, and challenge one is compliance and standards. Ensuring that producers meet strict organic standards can be complex and require thorough understanding and implementation of regulations. Some producers or stakeholders don't want to adhere to the standards, yet they want to benefit from the certificate. And the costs of certification. The certification process can be expensive for smaller farmers, which may discourage them from pursuing organic certification. However, we encourage them to embrace group certification. Some of them just have a phobia that certification is expensive. Yet if you bring to their attention that if you can embrace certification as a group, it will be very cheap and easy for you. So we are encouraging group certification to do away with the problem of lamenting about the high costs of certification. Then we have another challenge of fraud and mislabeling. Preventing fraudulent claims and ensuring that products labeled as organic are truly compliant is an ongoing challenge. Most of the people are using organic because organic is a brand. So many people, so many companies are labeling their products organic, yet they are not. Because we can't know, they are not members of the organic movement. They have not certified organic, but they go on and use that label and the name. So that is also a big challenge, which we need to act upon. Training and education is another challenge. Providing adequate training for farmers and producers about organic production and certification requirements is essential, but resource intensive. Much as we want to reach out to many farmers to train them about organic and sensitize them to create awareness, it's still a big challenge because it has some cost implications. So we need to build our resource base, mobilize funds, and so that we are able to reach out to as many farmers as possible. Because so many farmers down there would want to embrace organic, but they don't have the knowledge and technical expertise. So we have to intensify training and education. The market demand, fluctuations in consumer demand for organic products can affect the economic viability of organic farming, impacting certification bodies' workloads. Sometimes the demand is like too low. Sometimes the demand becomes too low. That means the
Are you still there? I think we are losing Amina. It could be network. Yeah, Amina, we can hear you.
Network. You can hear me, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay. I don't know where did you stop. I don't.
Market demand.
The market demand, yeah.
Yes,
I was saying that fluctuations in consumer demand for organic products can affect the economic viability of organic farming, impacting certification bodies. Because if there is no demand for organic, that means the certification bodies we don't have the work to do. So that takes us back to the sensitizations and awareness creation.
Amina, we are losing you again.
Pardon, Farid? Am I loud and clear?
Yes, now you're clear.
Okay. Then we have another challenge of global variations. differences in organic standards and regulations across countries. You find that sometimes when, for example, when we certify here a product, they take it, the other countries will say, no, we don't recognize Ugosat, so we need some harmonization there, such that we don't have those variations. For example, if a product is certified organic in Uganda, it can be accepted somewhere else in another country, leave alone the East African countries where the Kilimo High Mark applies. And lastly, we have a problem of high expectations from the clients. You, for example, you certify an entrepreneur, an upcoming entrepreneur. He or she thinks that you have to go ahead and find market for him or her. Well, it's one of our responsibilities. But again, some of the clients think we have to do all the work for them. You certify them, you look for markets for them, you go ahead and help them fulfill the requirements of the line ministry like MAIF. Some of them are not aware that when they certify with Ugosat, they still have to go on and comply with the standards of the line ministry. So that is still a big challenge for us. So many clients have been calling us lamenting, you know, I certified organic, but my products have been confiscated with MAIF. So what we need to do is to sensitize them that much as they have certified with Ugosat, they still need to comply with the requirements of the line ministry. And maybe another alternative we can come up with as the organic fraternity family is that we can also go ahead and create stock centers for organic products, well gazetted, instead of again certifying a product organic and then you take it into a conventional shop to sell. So I think it is more ideal and better if you can create organic stock centers where we can find all our organic products. Thank you for listening. You can visit us on www.ugosat.com and our telephone contacts are there for the CEO and the head of the certification committee. Thank you so much. I submit.
Thank you very much, Amina, for that presentation about Ugosat and what it offers. I think there's a lot of questions also that may come up there in terms of what you've presented. But maybe just to preempt, I know that we shall have a session of a question and answer, but just maybe to preempt and maybe like MAIF presented and they shared with us some of the costs of their phytosanitary. Could you just share with us? I know the prices vary, but could you just share with us for people or audience here to understand what could be an average or minimum or maximum certification cost would be from Ugosat?
Thank you, Farid, for that important concern. Our costs, as you have said, depend on the distance, the number of stakeholders you're working with. For example, maybe you may be sourcing and it may require us to visit all the people you source from. However, our costs normally ranges from
I mean, we lost you, we didn't get the costs. I think we shall get back to that. I mean, I will try to answer that during the question and answer session.
Technology.
Let's
Sorry, am I on?
Yes, you're on. In 1 minute, can you please?
Okay, in 1 minute, our cost range from between 1.6 to 3.8 or 4, depending on the products. Because there are some clients who have, like, they say that it's one product, but when you reach on the farm, you find that it's they have different products. For example, people who are making inputs, you can find that it's one line, but along the line, you reach a point where the products are. They are going to get solid manure, they are going to get liquid, and in the end, they are going to end up with like 3 products or 2. So that can go up to maybe 5M.
Okay. Thank you very much, Amina,
Thank
for that explanation. I think without wasting time, I would like to go to the next presenter, and that is VamiPro. We have Mr. Moses Oburu here, who is going to share with us the experience, the journey to certification, what motivated them to pursue certification, what are the biggest challenges they faced, and how did the actually certification impact their business. So Mr. Moses, you're most welcome to share with us your journey of certification.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Farouk. Good afternoon to all our listeners. My name is, as already mentioned, I'm called Moses Oburu. I work as the general manager for VamiPro. Yeah, we've been into inputs productions for some time now, that is since 2018. And along the way, of course, the market had some bit of complications, let's say, in market entry. We undertook to register with MAIF, and that process was as well very slow and costly. So while undertaking this, we managed to interface with a number of stakeholders in the organic sector, and we were advised that yes, even if you register your products with MAIF, if they are not confirmed to be organic or allowed for organic production, then still you may not be able to conveniently serve the organic producers. So with that guidance, we did engage the UGOSAT team. I remember there was Madame Mastura. That was way back in 2019. So unfortunately, also UGOSAT had some bit of challenges here and there. We didn't complete the process at that time. Much of the inspection work was more to do with on-farm production. So we then went on to first attain certification by the other bodies, that was CERES, that is to the EU, NOP, and JS organic standards. And that process was completed in the year 2020. So having completed that, we then, of course, we had the communication with UGOSAT, who advised that they were by then ready to undertake the certification. So we went on the process, the audits were as well done, and we obtained the UGOSAT certification. Yes, now despite all the challenges of the processes being long and maybe taking time here and there, having obtained the certificates, it gave us a bit of an advantage in the market. One, the producers have a bit of comfort. They can quickly accept your product in the market because it has been certified. They get that confidence that this is a genuine product. This is a product that will help me access the market. And not only here in Uganda, because we got inquiries across East Africa, specifically Kenya and Tanzania. When we went in to engage with the line ministries there to register, having the UGOSAT certification made the products again more accepted there. So you find when the product has a Kilimo High mark, the market in Tanzania and the market in Kenya get confidence that yes, the product being produced is also meeting their own standards in the market. However, despite that good advantage, we've had challenges of, I call it maybe duplication of work. You find if MAIF has a product here in Uganda, the KEFIS in Kenya would still undertake the same process to evaluate and register a product in Kenya. Yet the product is registered by the ministry here. It is complying with the East African Organic Standard, which is Kilimo High, and the two would actually aid the other ministry to, accept the product. but we did not get any benefit for that. Similarly, in Tanzania also, we had to redo the process like here. So our current concern is that maybe there need to be harmonization of some of these standards because some products are not complex. I'll give an example. If you talk of compost under any farming system, they'll tell you if organic matter level is low, introduce organic matter, and compost can be one of them, which people are using on a daily basis. We are not taking compost because of the nutritional value, but really to improve soil health and structure. So why would I undertake a long process to evaluate compost here for about 1.5 years, and maybe I move to another market, I have to do the same, or a product like biochar. We all know biochar is biochar, regardless of whether it's made from rice husk or bamboo and so on. So there should be harmonization, and these evaluations should really apply maybe to specific complex products. There are products which are easy that should not really, go around these long, long processes. We understand it is a regulation, it is to protect the market and so on, but also we have to look at the overall benefit of this intervention. If it is the smallholder farmers, let's say, making their compost, selling within the communities to improve productivity among them, you wouldn't expect them maybe to afford those costs. So I think ideally, the certification schemes are good, they're important, they give you acceptance, but of course, to go into the market to fully market your products, to distribute them in, agro dealer shops, to allow open trade, I would say the registration in the line ministries are really needed. But at the end of the day, if I have a product and it's approved for organic farming and I'm dealing directly with the farmer, at times the ministry doesn't have a mechanism to maybe either stop it or so. But all in all, the evaluation process with the ministries are long and very costly. That is the major challenge we are facing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Moses, for those insights. I think two things that I've actually got that those are the questions I normally try to answer is that the different countries, yes, we have the same Kilimo Hai, but you find that the different countries have different standards they follow. So I think my take here is we need to harmonize these standards. So if we're using Kilimo Hai, so with the different ministries in East Africa, we need, I think, to sit and harmonize these standards. But also you said clearly that the processes sometimes take long, which I believe sometimes people get frustrated and give up along the way. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with UGOSAT. And I believe our audience has actually gained some of the discussions you have actually mentioned. And I believe they will always contact you, for example, for advice, and also see how best you can share with them in depth of how they can be supported or based on experience. So without wasting time, I would like to go to our last presentation, and that is the PGS. And I would like at this point to invite Ms. Julie Nakalanda to share with us what is PGS. I know for the last few months everywhere in Uganda, we're hearing about PGS, but we would like to understand what is PGS and how is it different from the third-party certification, who can participate in the PGS system. So basically share with us what you've prepared so that we can understand the PGS system and our audience can actually get into that kind of certification. You're most welcome, Madam Julie.
Okay, thank you so much. Our presenters from the ministry, from UGOSAT, but also our colleague from VAMIPRO and our moderator and the CEO of Nogam who actually gave opening remarks. Am I audible?
Yes, you're very clear.
Okay, I want us to go through quickly these few slides about PGS because now it's the in thing. And the organizers of the webinar did us good to start with the line ministry where we fall, the regulator, but also to come from the point of UGOSAT and you've heard people talking about costs. And what I want to bring out clearly, the CEO of UGOSAT mentioned that there is a possibility of group certification under UGOSAT, and that is under third-party certification, which they call ICS. It is also a possibility. But here we are sharing the participatory guarantee system. And I'm going to use this version. The Nogamo Academy will soon be launching the popular version to make life easy for all of us to follow this. And this is going to help us understand how PGS is implemented in Uganda. Because we all know PGS, or Participatory Guarantee System in full, are locally focused guarantee systems where producers assess themselves and then offer a guarantee. And in this context, as you see, As you see, we are also promoting the use of the Kirimohai mark, which is a representation of the East African Organic Product Standard that was hinted on by the presenter from the ministry, but also what UGOSAT is currently using. And I know in the House, UNBS is represented, well represented. I actually thought we have a presentation from UNBS. This standard is hosted by UNBS. So it was from an initiative that was a public-private partnership, but this is in a way a public standard. And it was mentioned that this is kind of private, but when you double check with UNBS, it has always been public and mandatory. But the existing challenge has been that there hasn't been a law to stop people from claiming that they are organic. So how do we do PGS in Uganda? We have 6 pillars that we follow. The pillars of a shared vision, having a shared vision. In this popular version, the 6 pillars are highlighted and they are illustrated visually, like you're seeing on the screen. People sit together and agree what they want to do together. And it is interactive. It shouldn't be a rushed process. And it brings stakeholders on board. PGS should not be operated where one person in the group is the only one who understands this thing. One of the aspects is horizontality, as we shall see. It encourages that people participate in so many ways as much as possible to kind of share the roles. Other people might call it a burden, but you don't come to a group because you're burdened. You come to a group because you have a purpose, and that aspiration you want to achieve, then you share it together to make work easy. We should expect clear transparency, transparency as one of the pillars. And it has been mentioned from the previous presenters that there is importance of understanding how the soil is prepared. MAIF guarantees this quality that what we are using as inputs should not bring disease to the garden. So even at PGS level, we care about soil preparation and seed sourcing, because when you look at the East African Organic Product Standard, it shares all these details. And there is a confusion where people think that PGS is more of a substandard way to certify. No, it is an alternative where the work that would have been done by maybe other third parties, you share those roles, but the requirements of the standard for, in this case, the East African Organic Product Standard, have to be made in every sense. And this requires having records from soil preparation, seed sourcing, the agriculture practices, up to harvesting records, because these are the things that we see are lacking among farmers. And the committees, there is peer support and committee reviews within the PGS group to ensure that this happens. I already talked about horizontality. And as this process happens, there is continuous learning. For instance, the way peer reviews are conducted, the person being checked by the fellow members at the same time is going through training, because it is allowed in PGS that as you're being reviewed, you can also take on advice or training, on-spot training at the same time, that please correct this, you have to do this like this. There is no limitation in this, and this can happen in the garden. We promote things like planning production ahead for accurate yields, to run local market surveys. There is no reason why someone should start a PGS or join a PGS if they have no idea where they are going to sell. So we are privileged to have a functional structure now in Uganda, the national PGS structure. And this PGS structure starts from the bottom to top. From in the community, at community level, we have the PGS groups and the stakeholders supporting them. This could involve local leadership, but also facilitators, PGS facilitators, and any other entity that is relevant within that community. Then we are slowly rolling out regional or sub-regional or district committees, depending on the need. But the structure is very clear with the PGS manual that is being followed by the National PGS Council. So currently, I've seen people from Lira. We are engaging with Lira District local government and Lira City, and we are in the process of establishing the Lira District PGS Committee. And it's going to oversee the Lango sub-region. So this is in the process. When you look at the organic statistics, most of the organic farmers that are even recognized internationally are coming from northern Uganda and in Lira and in all those regions. So I'm very happy that this is starting in Lira, and this is depending on demand. The demand first appeared there, and people in Lira, the leadership is very receptive and welcoming. They've given us space from the RCC's office and RDC, and we are educating and sensitizing the masses. They've given us space that certified PGS farmers, and of course other organic certified, can now access the local market, the stores in Lira City. We are trying to find out where this is going to happen. They have even gone ahead to engage the mayor, and very soon we see an ordinance passing for Lira to become an organic city. So we are crossing our fingers to see this happen. So this is the power of PGS, because we are getting big responses from these locations, and the teams are working very tirelessly to make sure that these people finally achieve the certification. So I was still explaining about the structure, and this feeds into the National PGS Council, which is chaired by UNBS, because this standard, the East African Organic Product Standard, is owned by the East African Community States, member states. So in Uganda, it's in the custodian, the custodians are UNBS. It's in the custody of government, because it's a government thing, although it was initiated by a public-private partnership, and it is hosted by MAIF. So people who are going to pay for PGS certification, as I will clarify on the fees, will have access. UNBS will give them a free copy of this standard because of how the harmonization is happening. This PGS Council at national level is hosted by UNBS, and I mean it is chaired by UNBS. The vice chairperson is a representative from the SME. It's a company that engages in domestic trade, buys from PGS groups across the country, but also exports. And these are key stakeholders because they are bringing the inflow of products into the market on the domestic market, and that is Sulma Foods. Madame Zahra is our vice. We are represented by 2 commissioners from the Ministry of Agriculture, and we have requests that from the ministry that more commissioners join the council. So this shows a lot of interest by government, but also support, because they see that as an alternative mechanism where people are assessing themselves, this is going to push us far as a country. Then we have the farmer representative on the council. We have Makerere University with the innovation of Kebera. They are also represented. and we have the CSO representative and an organization that supports PGS development in Uganda, and that is PELAM. And the secretariat of the PGS Council is the National Organic Agriculture Movement, because they are the leading voice in the sector to coordinate all the organic activities. So I'll proceed with the slides. How do we establish PGS? We need to the first step is you find a common vision as a team. Then you register your PGS. We want to work in harmony with government. So it's important that that group, it could have evolved from ordinary existing groups and it's already registered, that is good. But if it's a PGS, for instance, a PGS sometimes could end up from like 3 groups can form one PGS group. So as you see the numbers, because it's the next step. But if you're already registered, you don't have to register. But it's important that the community development department at district level knows about your operations. Then you have to determine your group size. In Uganda, the PGS Council has guided that a PGS group can be with as few as 5 members, but also as many as 30 members. We know that the real active members might be up to 20, but the PGS Council has been accommodative. And if your group has 34 members, I think that can still be accepted. But if you go into 40, 42, you'll be advised to split this PGS into 2 for purposes of easy management, but also for conformity purposes, as you'll see in the future. Then you have to know your area of operation, because it is important that you're able to visit each other and reach each other's location. The 5th step here is committing to the standard. A lot has already been said about the Kilimo High mark, but also the East African Organic Product Standard. Just in brief, this standard guides on general requirements. It guides on what we should do and not do under crop production, under livestock production, that is animal husbandry, under beekeeping, what you have to do if you consider wild collection, processing, handling, storage, and labeling. And what is interesting for the PGS, we are doing all farm organic. If your PGS is involved in production and processing, it will still be the same fees, because we are trying to kind of formalize production, and PGS is becoming the incubator. So we want to make things happen at the grassroots. So you don't have to pay for, even if you have many crops or many animals, but what is important, all this has to be documented, because we are doing all farm organic. And what is interesting, we are using the same forms that have been prepared by the Joint Management Committee, and people have to go through these processes. So what should be done at PGS level? Members have to, each member has to fill in the East African Organic Product Application form. There is that form that each member fills in and applies to the group leadership, and then they have to conduct peer reviews, and this is recommended to be at least annually, but sometimes people do it seasonally. That also has to come in as a report for each member. So this should be on file in the group. Then the certification pledge is done at group level. Those people who have passed, who have been endorsed by the peer reviews that we feel they are ready to be certified, then they collectively do a pledge. For instance, a group could be having 20 members, but maybe 17, according to the group processes and systems, 17 have passed. So the 17 will take the group pledge. But the group pledge, what does the group pledge entails? It reflects what you've agreed to do. And this is what is in your PGS records, in the PGS manual. The PGS manual is not kind of like rocket science. It just includes what you have, what the name of your group, the address of the group, the leadership, your contacts, the leadership structure, and what each person does, your vision, your goals, your objectives, and then what you're engaged in, and the rules and the non-compliances. You have to mention them. If someone breaks the law, you have to predetermine the non-compliances. So when you put this together, this is the PGS manual. The PGS manual shows you how the PGS operates. I usually tease people, if you've ever bought this stove that uses kerosene, if it's new in the box, there is a manual. It is from China, but usually it's in broken English. That manual shows you how to use that stove. So even the PGS manual should show people how the PGS operates. Even if you're not a member of that PGS, you should know how the PGS operates. So it's as simple as what I've just explained. Then because we need to harmonize, we need to protect the standard, now we apply to the institutional arrangement now, which is the PGS structure in Uganda. At regional level, people will do a preliminary assessment. They can first do teleconferencing calls to double check and prepare you to see if you're ready. Then if you're deemed ready, they will come and visit you and do an assessment, and they fill in the PGS assessment form where the assessors and the PGS group have to comment, and these are forwarded to the PGS Council for endorsement. So basically, this is what happens, but at this stage, before when you're to be presented, you have to pay for the Crimo High license fees, which is also the PGS support services, because this is a system. In total, annually, it's 900,000, and part of this, 300, is for the Crimo High fees, and the other remaining 600 is the support services. But what is interesting, for any group that will pay this 900,000 for each year, they will have access to free membership to Nogamu. They will have access to free membership to Inofo, which is the coordination of organic farmers in Uganda. And all these benefits, like we mentioned, they'll get a copy of the latest standard. And I think they will have access to get information on markets as we work in the existing mechanisms. And then you're ready to launch your PGS. The remaining chapters are explaining about what is there in the PGS. You've heard about quality control. The PGS structure, I've mentioned it in the manual, but this is how you're organizing your leadership. The management committee, the peer review committee, the certification committee, the appeals committee. You may have a training committee, you may have a marketing committee to make sure that your PGS finally works very well. But in terms of the functionality of the PGS, these four, like you're seeing here, are the core ones here. Then the steps, like I've mentioned, members fill in application at group level. Each member fills in. Then there is a peer review at group level. Then there is a decision of the committee at group level. And there is an option for appealing if you feel you've been non-treated fairly. That's why we have an appeals committee. And for some groups, this could be the disciplinary committee that you always have, as long as it understands very well the issues of the standard that you're following. Then after this, you take the farmer's pledge, and all these steps from application here to farmer's pledge, all this is happening at group level. Then you continue to apply to be for endorsement to the PGS Council through, and this can now send the regional committee to assess you, and then the final decision is taken to use the Crimo High mark. We make sure that there is standardization and competence. If you're to participate in this process, in these structures, human resource and competence criteria is followed. People who should be serving in this certain sector, the structure, they should already be certified as organic practitioners within their groups, or they should be in their different capacities, or they should have undergone training. They should understand the standards. And for someone to become a practical observer, he should have at least witnessed one peer review after being conducted. Then there is product traceability. The Kebera issue, the Kebera tool is being developed, but also at group level, people can do a digital, like a QR code, where consumers can now see the products for the PGS group, and then they follow the PGS story. But also we encourage the manual records, like we've mentioned them, as people get used to the digital world. Then I was talking about the PGS structure. As you're seeing it here, it starts from bottom, from the local level upwards. And this is the endorsement I've been sharing, as you see it here. And here at group level, PGS level, we audit the whole, we assess the whole group, not single farms, because they do that themselves at group level. Then just to throw more light on the stakeholdership representation, you see them here. We have UNBS representing Ministry of Trade. We have NOGAMU, which is the secretariat. We have the CSO representative, the farmer representative, consumer representative, and MAIF representative, and the domestic SME representative. So it's really participatory. And this representation is by endorsement. People might wonder, how does someone end up on the council? We had to start somewhere, but eventually there will be room open for people to kind of apply for this periodically as the council, depending on these terms of reference, as the council will guide. Then what is there that should make sure that PGS function? The financing pillars. Members should be able to make local contribution, member fees. We need PGS to pay for their own contributions. And I would like to salute the groups in Lira who have already now sent in their money. Groups are already sending in 900,000 because they see the value of this money. But it's okay that they can be supported if some groups are working with some NGOs that can support them. But the bottom line, we need sustainability and market revenue. Groups should be able to know where they are selling such that they can generate this money from the market revenue they get. And they can also apply for cooperative funds and agricultural budgets from government to make sure that they build their capacity. What we need from government, we need policy regulation. We already have the policy regulation. We have the policy already, but we need support to have the bill. And we would like to see government committing funds in this process, because sometimes it's usually the burden of NOGAMO and other stakeholders to look for the fund to facilitate the policy process. Yet this is going to benefit the general public. We want direct funding from government to the groups because they might need inputs, and we need government to recognize this. We know government is already recognizing it because it's on the council. Supportive regulation, and like you mentioned, they are already told us that there is room for harmonization. So what is also important, this is like second last, we should align production to establish market needs such that PGS is not just a flower for decoration, but something that is feeding to what the market demands. You should know all your products at PGS level. You should know if they are raw or fresh or processed, what quantities are expected, because if people are to support your PGS groups, they should know the volumes to expect. And this is how we get organized to fit into the markets. Then we go into marketing schedules and logistics. This is very important. You should know how products move from one location to another without degrading the organic integrity. You should make sure that you have sales records, and if you have marketing committees, members should be paid. These are some of the things that can fail a PGS. This should be well recorded, income and expenditure, and payment schedules should be clear. Then you should stay in beneficial networks like NOGAMU, like all these other supporting agencies, to make sure that you know what is happening. You participate in active advocacy for policy favors. And then together we can grow this, because this is one way you can use the mark. You can have, because for fresh produce, if people don't have the money to put a sticker on every sweet potato, they can have their banner at their local market to show people that this is organic. But there are so many ways, as you can always seek advice from the NOGAMO Academy, from the marketing department, from the CSO supporting you, to see how best you can market your product. So for more information, we shall be having stories, community-led stories, as the PGS Secretariat will share. But please follow on all these handles to learn more. Thank you so much. We shall get the reflections and questions when time allows. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Julie, for that elaborate presentation. I think now people understand PGS, but I just have one question for you. It could be also a question from the others. When should a farmer choose PGS, and when should they consider third-party certification?
Thanks very much. For me, from my experience, I think pig years should be the starting incubation because it helps you understand and get oriented into the formalization or the certification process. Now, when you finally list all your products and the opportunities of the market starting opening, because when you get PGS Kirimo High Mark, you will be known in the market and probably the export market will start picking interest in you. At that stage, if the potential for the export market is really viable for you, then you can upgrade to the level of third-party certification without necessarily dropping PGS because you're now going to operate at local market because we want to see our ordinary market selling organic products, but then you also upgrade to export. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Julie, for that. I just had to mention that so that at least people can know that you shouldn't start from the highest, but start with something that is available, that is also affordable for you to actually get the third-party certification. Yes, thank you so much, all the presenters. I think we have all heard from the ministry, from Ugosat, from Ms. Julie PGS, and also from Vamipro as an experience of how they have been able to get this certification. And we know there are several others who have actually got. Madam Amina mentioned to us that within 7 months, they certified 7 products. So that means each product was certified on a monthly basis. So I think that is a plus on the side of Ugosat. So I believe there are some questions. We want to go into a few questions because time is not on our side. And if there's anyone, I see if there's any question on the chat. Are there questions on the chat? I think there are questions on the chat, but I have a team that has been actually been responding these questions. So thank you so much. But before we go into, I think on behalf of also the participants, I would just have some few questions based on the discussion and to each one of us. And I would start with Ugosat. And the question I'm asking is, what is the future of organic certification in Uganda? Maybe just in 2 minutes, you can share with us the future of organic certification in Uganda. Amin, are you there?
Yes, Farid, I'm there.
Yes, so share with us what's
you.
the future of organic certification in Uganda.
Thank you, Farid. As we talk now, organic certification is gaining momentum, and so many people are appreciating organic, most especially from the health perspective. You know, organic is like a calling. Once you understand organic, you cannot divert from it and you cannot do otherwise. So with people understanding more about organic agriculture, that means the future of organic certification will also be on the increase, and we are seeing a very bright future in organic certification because people are beginning to appreciate it. So the sky is the limit. I will continue.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. Amina, we have a hand raised up by Mavira Seed Supply. Mavira, can you unmute so that you can ask your question? Please direct to the question to whichever presenter so that they can.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Farid. One, I'll begin by appreciating Nogam for keeping the fire burning when it comes to organic agriculture. My question goes to Ugosat, that for us who are based up country, is there any way you can extend your services to maybe at regional level so that you can access your services too? Another one goes to Nogam. We used to be members of Nogam. We have a CBO called Mikwano, Uganda. We used to be members of Nogamu with Farid. I'm sorry, now you are so grown up and you have changed. But these members of Nogamu, and somehow we lost membership with Nogamu. What can we do to regain our membership with Nogamu so that we can still continue accessing your services? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mabira Seed Supply. Amina, did you get the question?
Yes, please.
Yes, go ahead and answer it.
Mabira Seed Supply, we are very happy and privileged to have you on this webinar today. It's good we have connected. We have even put our contacts. We are very happy and willing to come and serve you. We have known you, or we can share contacts. We can share contacts, and we are really ready to serve you. We shall be looking up for you, because we even have a client in Mabira, that side of Mabira, who has already been certified. So we shall be connecting. We have left our contacts. I don't know whether I've answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much. I think we shall make follow-ups after this meeting to see that at least all these questions they've asked are really followed through. We also had another question to Nogam. I have a team here, Marilyn, Prudence, anyone to support in that in terms of membership. They were members before and they lost touch, so they would love to get connected back.
On membership, Farid, let me first of all appreciate our friends. Mikwano, we love you so much, like we used to. Our admin department will reach out to you. If you could drop your email address here, we'll reach out to you with the application form, and we'll be very, very happy. And Annette is here. We'll be happy to receive your new application form so that we can reactivate your membership. But let's say you are already members. Once a member, always a member. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Charity, for that. We also have another question that has come in on the chat. Is there a market for organic raised seedlings, and how is it? Just a minute. Is there a market for organic raised seedlings, and how it is standing so far in Uganda?
There is a market for all organic products, right from inputs all the way to the final product that reaches the table of the consumer. It depends on which seedling you're talking about. We can link you up with the buyers or farmers that would want that seedling. We know of some suppliers that have been selling tomato seedlings, for example, and some of the participants of this webinar have been buying those seedlings. So yes, there is a market. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. I don't know if there's any, yes, Atukunda Fortunate, you have raised your hand. Can you unmute and you ask your question? Atukunda? I think we have lost her. So maybe as we are winding up, we're left with 7 minutes to 4 p.m. That's the time we want to stop. We have a question from Mr. Deus Mukalazi. Can you ask your question?
Yeah, thank you very much, Farid, and all the presenters. Mine goes to the participatory guarantee system presenter. She talked about the 900,000 fee payable. I wanted to know exactly what that gets the group. Does it mean the group gets a group certification, or there has to be another step to have the certification of products from that group? Thank you.
Thanks very much, Madam Deus Mukalazi. That is a fee that has been agreed upon by the National PGS Council. And part of that fees, as I earlier explained, 300,000 goes to the license to use the Kirimo High Mark. And then the other is a supportive mechanism for the support the structure that supports the PGS in Uganda. So by the time you get to be endorsed by the National PGS Council, you've gone through all the necessary processes. And like I explained, in PGS, you do most of the work as you get guidance to make sure that you meet the requirements of the standard. So for instance, if someone is certified by UGOSAT with the Kirimo High mark or certified under PGS with the Kirimo High mark, those products, both of them should meet the requirements of the East African Organic Product Standard. So by the time you get to that level, that is the actual certification, because you've verified yourself at group level and now you're endorsed by the council to use the mark. Thank you.
Thank you very
Can
much.
I be heard now?
Is that
Excuse- Can I be heard now?
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
it's me.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
thanks for the big presentation. My question goes to NOGAM officials. I've been trying to follow them on LinkedIn, but I've never been helped. So my question was, how can I be a member and how much do I need to pay to be a member? Then another thing is about the training, about the organic farming. Personally, I do my farming along Wema Road, that is Buswinch Town Council. So do I need to access from your farm or from my farm? And then how much can it cost me? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Atukonda, for that question. I think since you've put your contact here, our team is going to get in touch with you in regards to membership so that they can guide you in the different membership levels so that you can be part of NOGAM. So we also had a hand from Florence Dumba. Florence, are you there? Then I can see Mr. Joseph.
Thank you very much. I want to appreciate all the presenters for the wonderful presentation. Mine is a request and also like appreciating Nogamu, UGOSAT, for the certification, because for us we have that certificate, but things are changing day and night. The markets are increasing after getting that certification. But my humble request goes to Mayiv. I wish you can really harmonize some of those issues. Your issues are really important, but when we do the certification with the UGOSAT, some of those things will go through them. Like we have to present a dossier about our products. Then when we are testing, we use authorized labs, like the analytical lab in Wandegeya. Everything is checked before I will really go for certification. I wish you can harmonize so that when we get a certificate from UGOSAT, your part is also covered. Thank you very much. That is my humble request.
Thank you very much, Ms. Florence. Ms. Efrans, are you still there? Just to support in that.
Yes, thank you for the question. The recognize is very welcome as long as we sit and discuss. Actually, there was a letter to my commission to reduce some of the requirements in the registration of inputs, and he had requested there be a dialogue between us and Nogamu so that we harmonize some of those things. So yeah, it is possible to harmonize, but definitely we look for different things, and organic also looks for different. But we have a bigger mandate than the Nogam. So bear with us. If it is unnecessary, then that dialogue will help us to some of the differences in the two systems. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we have 1 minute to 4 p.m. I would request Joseph to also ask your question. Joseph Muyeti.
Yes, thank you very much, Farid. Thanks to all the presenters. My challenge has been, I'm into farming full-time with irrigation, and my challenge has been in keeping away the diseases, the fungal diseases like Phytophthora infestans, that's the late blight in tomatoes, and also some insects that are very stubborn. And I'm wondering whether we actually have chemicals that can overcome this in tomatoes, or is it that some crops cannot be grown organically like tomatoes? I've really tried, and so far it doesn't seem to work. I need help there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Moses. Mr. Moses Oburu from Vermipro, can you support? Mr. Moses Oburu? I see him, but he's not, I think he's off his computer. Mr. Moses?
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
Yes,
Okay,
there was a question.
Yes, I got the question. Thank you so much for that inquiry. Yeah, regarding management of late blight, even if it's as well early blight, Vermipro has developed a solution for that. And we've tried it so far with a number of farmers, and the product is quite very effective. However, we've submitted it to MAIF. The registration process is not yet complete in MAIF, though we are undertaking because we have many products and the cost for the evaluations are really too high. So the solution is there. It is just plant extracts, and we can support as of now as we still continue, completing the process with MAIF. Regarding stubborn pests, I don't know what pests you're faced with, but if you can share with us some of those, we can then see whether we have the solution or we can recommend some.
Like mites and thrips in the greenhouses.
When it comes to mites and thrips, yes, we have a biopesticide. There is some recommended interval of application, but also there are other solutions like predatory mites. That is not from our company, but we have there's another company. I think that is it's called Real IPM, and Kupat, they have some solution for that. So for sure, there are organic solutions to most of these problems.
Okay. Thank you very much. Paul, can you mute yourself? So thank you so much, Moses, for that elaborate answer to Mr. Joseph. Mr. Paul, can you
also,
unmute?
Kulika has a remedy for the pesticide. Kulika also is having a remedy for those pests, which is certified organic.
Okay, so we'll share contacts of the different input suppliers that are organic. We have 2 hands, then we can come to close to this end of this meeting. So we have Mr. Deus. Still, is your hand still up? Deus
Yes,
Mukalazi?
please.
Yes.
It's a new hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll be quick, just 2 quick ones. One is a follow-up on the PGS on the 900,000. Does this money have to be paid at once, or there is a provision to have this money paid in installments? Then the other one is the call was so much about certification, but is it only focusing on East African community or even other markets beyond East Africa? I didn't get that clarity. I got the impression that it's about EAC. I need to be helped on that. Thank you.
Yes, Miss Julie, your hand is up. Maybe you can answer that and also ask your question.
My hand was up to respond to our colleague who has challenges with the diseases under blight. And in his submission, you would see that he's kind of coming from the conventional conviction, because he said, when we are doing organic agriculture, we don't look for which solution kills what. You need to be holistic and look at the 4 principles of organic agriculture. If you balance your ecology on your farm and you balance soil health, many of those things will go down slowly by slowly. I'm not saying that we don't need these solutions, but you might see that if you engage further with Nogamo and all these people, you might do certain things to kind of bring back your natural ecosystem in balance, such that those problems are kind of reduced. Then to respond to the questions, about PGS, the amount of money, you should contact the PGS Secretariat. We talk to the PGS groups when they have come to a stage where they are to be endorsed, and that's when they start paying. So please keep in touch with Nogamo. They will guide. It's not like you bring the money first, then you run after the certification. There is a process you have to go through. And by the time you're ready for endorsement, I think there should be flexibility at the Secretariat that if you have a clear payment plan, they'll be listening to you. Then about the question on the standard, I don't know if I would like to answer that. But for now, the Kirimo High is for the East African Organic Product Standard, but is for the East African community, but we've seen other regions also accepting it. Markets in the world for everything we have, markets, products are market oriented. Like if the market demands, it can go beyond even the scope. So if a market destination recognizes the Kirimo High mark, it no longer matters that it's just for the East Africa. It depends on how superior your product is and how people need it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, our audience and all the presenters for the wonderful discussion. I think we are coming to an end of this webinar today. It has been engaging. I know sometimes we need a lot of time when we start talking about certification, but time is not on our side. I'd like to thank you all once again for being part of this webinar. And we have learned that certification is not really a requirement, it's not merely a requirement, but it's a pathway to credibility and also consumer trust. And also it can lead to market access. We have had Vamipro mentioning that the market opened when they got the Kirimo High mark. Then also Ms. Florence Damba shared that the market has grown because they are certified organic. So it has opened doors, and also this supports business growth. So we have also heard about from Maif on regulation, Ugosat on certification processes, and also the challenges that they have gone through. We have also heard from Vamipro on the practical experiences, and also Ms. Julie on the participatory guarantee system. So I think when you put all these things, there is where it can guide us on how we can actually move on towards certification. So on behalf of Nogam, I would like to sincerely thank all of you, the speakers, the participants, for your valuable contributions. Let us continue working together to strengthen the Uganda's organic sector and create more opportunities for farmers and agribusiness. As we all know that Uganda, all over the world, we are still #2 and India is #1. So I believe we can actually go to #1 if we work together towards a connected organic sector. Thank you all. Let's stay connected and have a wonderful evening, and we'll keep you posted on all the upcoming webinars that we shall have. Thank you so much and be blessed.